All right, this is a training room roll. We got Harley and Matt. These guys often have good matches together, so I thought this might be some cool moves to see in this one. So let's see what happens. So right off the bat, we have Harley playing guard and Matt on top. Now from here, on bottom, it's all about trying to off-balance your opponent. Trying to get his hands to the floor, potentially set up sweeps, submissions, opportunities for front headlocks. These are things you have to think about when you're on bottom, especially no gi. And now Harley stood up, and now Matt goes to the bottom. That's easy 2 points. Good move by Harley to steal top position and steal two. Matt could have just got up with Harley, and then it would have been them just on the feet, and then they just kind of have to decide, okay, who's going to pull guard or whatever. But it's a real sneaky way to kind of steal the 2 points, and more importantly, steal the top position, what Harley did there to get on top. And now they've switched roles with Harley on top, and now Matt's playing guard. Looks like he's in a half guard. Harley takes a reverse crossface with his right arm on the other side of the head. And now Matt's looking to extend Harley's leg up. Now he has Harley's hips over his center of gravity, and that makes it easy for him to come up on top and get his sweep back. So let's look again. Watch, Matt goes under Harley's leg, and then he's going to lift. He uses that to elevate, and now he gets Harley's hips on top of him. That means Harley isn't in control of his own balance anymore. Matt is. So now he's going to switch his grip and then start to turn his knees hard to his left, and he just follows the momentum and gets up. Really nice way to kind of steal his 2 points back and get back on top. But Harley tries to transition right into a Darce choke. And this is something, if you can get good at it, it becomes a real advantage. When the guy sweeps you or does take you down, instead of fighting it, sometimes it's just better to go for a submission. I'm not just saying just let the guy sweep you, let the guy take you down. But if you're in a situation where you're like maybe 80-90% sure that his move's going to work, instead of just resisting, switch to something else. And Harley did basically the same thing he did earlier to steal top position there. Where you see that a lot too, guys just kind of standing up, is from MMA guys. If you roll with an MMA guy before, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes there's almost like an unwritten rule of jiu-jitsu where it's like, okay, I'm playing bottom, you're playing top. But MMA guys, they're not aware of this rule. They just stand up, right? They just get up. If you're not constantly putting your weight on them and keeping them down, they're just going to stand up. And then you're either going to have to pull guard or take them down. And it can be very frustrating. So something you should always be thinking about when you're on top of your opponent is, even if they're not trying to stand up, just think, could this guy easily stand up right now? Or do I have enough body weight on top of him that if he just decided to jump to his feet, I'd still be able to hold him down? Pinning people down in jiu-jitsu is very important. It's a very underrated skill. Not just in side control, just keeping your opponent on the bottom is a very underrated skill. Harley's all in this Darce attempt, but Matt put his back to the floor. That's going to make it difficult to get the Darce. Now Harley instead transitions to side control. Looks like he's latched onto that crossface fairly tight with his right arm. He's in good position. Matt's trying to get his frames in and looking to escape. Looks like he's turning his knees to his right, thinking about maybe trying to slip out the back door, but Harley's crossface is going to make that tough. He briefly tries to go over to mount. It looks like Matt might have caught his foot, but this is a good position to start to feed the gift wrap, if possible. Anytime your opponents start to turn away from you, if you can catch their wrist, nice transition to the back take. That was a real nice chaining of attacks. So Harley goes side control. He tries to go to mount, but it looks like Matt caught his foot. But he didn't just accept that position. He knew he had something good happening. Matt's back's off the floor. You can see the back of his left shoulder. So that means Harley has potential to take Matt's back if he can catch Matt's left wrist, hold himself tight to him, and then start to fall to his left shoulder. That's what's going to open up the back take. See how he starts to fall over? He has the wrist. He throws the second hook in. And now from here, you would immediately want to start to threaten the choke. In Matt's situation now, he's got a hand fight, try to keep his chin down, and just be real mindful of his defense. Harley's looking to trap that arm with his right foot. It's a good attack, but usually you're going to have to grab the wrist and punch it down to trap it. Looks like he briefly has it now, but Matt's able to kind of move his hips away, and he gets on top. And that was a very nice back escape. Most people escape at the head and shoulders first, but Matt escaped his hips first. Watch. Look how he has his left foot on the floor. He shrimps. Now his legs are free, and he drives his weight up on top of Harley and gets right into side control. Very effective escape. When you can go from someone's on your back to now your top side control, that can be very deflating to your opponent. But he's got Harley in side control now. Harley's got his right hand in good position. looking to frame. He looks like he's mindful not to roll away. He doesn't want to give his back here. Looks like he's trying to bump to create space. He's able to get that knee in. He's got to try to turn to face Matt. Now he tries to find the underhook. Here, Matt got a hold of that foot, so he didn't let that foot come in. Harley should be trying to trap Matt into a half guard here. But it looks like maybe Matt is going for a guillotine or a Darce here. He escapes his knee. That's going to be a problem. Now he's got that top foot pummeled on top. Now this is starting to get bad for Harley. He's going to try to push that knee back in between his legs, but Matt escapes the foot and takes mount. And mount can be very tricky no-gi. You don't have the lapels to start to set up your attack. So if the guy just kind of keeps his hands tight to his face or tight to his neck, it's going to be difficult to open up attacks. So Harley looks like he's trying to use his two hands together to open up space. He thought about trying to push the hips there. You could try to frame both hands on the hips and bridge to one side and try to go single leg X, but it does leave your neck free if he tries to go for a quick attack. And Matt looks like he's just trying to kind of hold steady, keep his weight on top. And it's a good strategy on mount. Let the guy on bottom do some work. Let him try to escape. Just focus on staying on top, staying tight, and not getting bridged over, which you see happen a lot. Uh-oh, and it happened again. Harley bridged him over. Now let's take a look why that happened. I think Matt was just too focused on the crossface. Sometimes you got to let go of the crossface and use your hand to post. But the crossface hand was committed. Harley grabbed a hold of it and hit the hard bridge to take him over. And hit the reversal. Now he's on top of it. So now Harley's on top and closed guard. From here, I usually like to stand up, or if you're on your knees, try to two-hand shove the knee right down to the floor and then transition into a half guard. But Matt opened his legs and that let Harley stand up, get out of the guard. He gets a nice leg drag. Watch again, the guard's already open. So Harley gets two grips on Matt's foot. He's got a grip around the knee and around the ankle. That's what sets up that leg drag right into side control. Often you'll have a chance to go for your opponent's back off a leg drag too, which is really, really good. From here, Matt's trying to stay tight, protect his neck, not let the hooks come in. Harley goes to the seatbelt. Now he does the proper thing and sits Matt up. Now he should be looking to get an angle to his left or his right and then throw that hook in front of Matt's knee. You don't want to be too square with him here. It's going to be tough if the guy's in like a tight shell defense. But Harley did get the hook in. And he gets the other hook in, and now he's working on the back. But remember last time, Matt escaped the back by getting his hips free. So let's see if he employs the same strategy here. It can be tough when the guy's just attacking the choke on you. You can't think about the escape if you're thinking about defending your neck. That's why I would say attack the hooks and the choke at the same time. But I mean, if you already have both hooks in, the guy's is just going to defend the choke, right? The hooks are already in. So Harley looks to go to reset the back, but no, Matt's slippery like a fish again. He turns in and gets the half guard. But Harley takes the underhook. He's in a deep knee cut position. He hits the knee cut, but Matt's still turned onto his side, doesn't want to accept the side control. And that's it. Awesome match to watch.